and I want to welcome you. Thank you, Sandro, for being here. We're so glad that you're going to talk about Tipoteca Italiana. You're going to show us around a little bit and share this Friday afternoon for us, but Friday evening for you, right?
Yes, it is. Okay, thank you, Stephanie, for letting me in this wonderful room. Hi to everybody. I apologize if my connection, my Wi-Fi connection sometimes is not so good as we are hoping, but maybe it's the hot outside. It's July in Italy as well in the United States or wherever you are in the world. And right now we are, I am in the workshop room. It's 7 p.m. So unfortunately, I believe that we are all dealing with a general situation that doesn't allow people to move around freely and to come and visit.
We might have lost Sandro for a minute. Sandro, can you hear us?
I bet he gets out of the waiting room pretty quick.
Yeah, I'll make sure of it. We'll have to boot you so he can get back in. How many of you guys, if by a wave or a show of hands, have visited Tipoteca before?
There you are. Sorry if this is the bad thing of connecting. So I will do a proper thing before starting. Sorry, just a second. So I'm open a bottle of Prosecco with you because I think it's the best way to celebrate the fact that we are all connected. Just to give you some interesting information, but people who visited Tipoteca know this very well. Thank you. I see Laura is showing me a mug. And you have to know that we are very close to the best hill part of the country where they produce Prosecco. Prosecco is this local wine, sparkling white wine. I have a strong recommendation for you guys because we are, of course, printers, typographers, people who love type, but at the same time, we are people that live in a place and we like to share what's happening around in our world with you. And so the big recommendation that I tell you is that when you buy a bottle of Prosecco, it must have 4 magic letters. So DOCG. This is the best Prosecco that you can have. If you buy other stuff, I'm afraid it's made with some other stuff, I think sugar probably. So this is for you guys. This is, as you see, the local production. Maybe you will find something to say about the label, but we're fine. I see, good, Laura, you got Le Cultura, I see there, she's showing me. And of course, this is I need to do this because it's my aperitivo time. So and ideally, I'm pouring a glass for me, for myself, and I'm pouring a glass for all of you, and this glass will be staying here for you. I'm sorry that it will warm up a little during my talk, but so salute a tutti voi. Thank you. Cheers to everybody. Okay, now we are ready to talk. So,
Sandro, you have the best hospitality. I don't think we've had a glass poured out for the entire ham hang yet. So
didn't you? But we need to start in the best way. Of course, it would be lovely to go all together later to dinner, to lunch. It depends where you are connected from. So that's part of what we are trying to share together. Okay, I am standing in our print shop that I will just show you a little bit around. Of course, the camera, we have 3 proof presses that they are now very useful for holding, as you see, the bottle of wines, and to keep your glasses. I promise that nobody's going to drink your glass. It's going to be here for you for all the time. So who knows Tipoteca knows that we are located in Italy, in a little town, little village called Cornuda. We are almost 50 kilometers north of Venice. I know that Venice is absolutely renowned and it doesn't need any presentation. So what we are here located in a former hemp mill. It was an old building built in 1883-85, and we are inside this industrial building. And Tipoteca, the reason why probably Hamilton invited us to have this talk with all our friends is because it's our 25th birthday. So it's 25 years that we are around. And so this is the best way to celebrate with friends. So thank you for everybody. And because we were suffering like many other people in the world about the pandemic, of the COVID pandemic, we needed to come up with an idea about this celebration. And because we are a printing museum, we have a lovely type collection, I believe that the best way to celebrate a birthday is printing something. So I see many friends here connected with us today. I see Richard Arder from London. I see Frank Baseman from Philadelphia, Jim Moran himself with, and also John Christopher. It's like a peep show this. I see little faces popping up and hiding. So sorry if I'm not able to see you all together in my screen, but we asked two friends to print a celebration poster for us. And my plan, and I was talking before with Stephanie, was to go upstairs and to show you where the posters are exhibited. But unfortunately, my connection upstairs is very bad. So I need to be stuck here in this room. And I am sorry for this second choice. I just move now around, and I will be very glad to just show you some posters. So we have been lucky to receive from all friends from all over the world. We gave them all the same size for the poster. It was in centimeters, 50x70. So, and we asked friends if it was possible just to print somewhere the name of Tipoteca and the number 25. And of course, the topic was very free. So we invited both designers, even people working in the graphic design, probably not very familiar with letterpress itself, but we wanted to have a mix between design and printing. And at the same time, who was using wood type. Most of them are printed wood type. So this is a friend from Switzerland. This is TI. Sorry if I'm showing you this very bad way. It was much prettier to see them on the wall. But we have a very limited edition of posters, only 25, of course, because we are in this case for our 20th birthday. Next time there will be 50, so you need to. This is a poster that was designed by a friend from Bologna. And for people that didn't have a way to print in their own place, we sent them a type kit. What is a type kit? We scanned 20 typefaces of our collection, asking them to use this typeface. For instance, this is a combination of this Italian Etna typeface, wood type, and another typeface, this mixture. And the guy that designed this post, he said, my first worry was who needed to print it. So only one color. So that was the reason why he chose to print it only in black. Let me I browse with you some other posters. Oh, this is very nice. I must be honest, I love them all. This is from a friend, a designer, Meta Newhouse, that probably people of you know. And Meta spent some days in Tipoteca printing in the past years some movie posters, and she wanted to be part. We invited her to celebrate our birthday with this lovely poster. So for people that couldn't print, we asked them to send us the design and the layout, and we will take care of the printing. And we did it during the months of April, May. Here we have the poster of Silvana Amato. Silvana Amato is a graphic designer. She lives in Rome, and she's taking care of some design for us. And TIF in the red in the middle is Tipoteca. It's an acronym of Tipoteca Italiana Fondazione. And so she played with the letters, beautiful letters. We're really improvising, so sorry if I'm really not doing things in a proper way. I know that, but it's the glass of wine that I just drank, so that's making me a little bit. This is another beautiful design that was proposed by Armina. Armina, she lives in Belgium, in Europe, and of course, she wasn't able to go to her print shop. So with the set of type, she arranged this design, giving us the colors, and we try to do our best in following the instructions. Here we have the proposal of a Brazilian designer, Claudio Rocha. He's a very good friend of Tipoteca. He lived in Italy as well. And I'm guessing that every time Claudio was designing and printing letterpress, he was using all the colors that you can imagine that a Brazilian can use. And this time he chose to print only in black and white and gray. To be honest, this poster has 8 colors because we have the black and 9 different grades of gray. So that was making it was quite challenging. And by the way, because of this is one of my favorite Italian typefaces design is Fluidum. It was designed by Alessandro Butti for the Nebbiolo Type Foundry. And this typeface is available both in metal type and for wood type. It's a beautiful script font. It works wonderfully, and I really like it. It's one of my favorite typefaces that we have, talking about script fonts in Italy. I'm not able to read the chat, so Stephanie, if there's anyone is complaining about this show of posters that is boring, please let me know and I will move on.
No complaints yet. I think you've hit the nose on the head. This is what we want to see.
Okay, here we have, I see on my under right corner, John Christopher from Flowers and Fleuron from Brighton, London. Ciao, John. And this is his design. He did choose to design uniquely using Etna, E-T-N-A font. It's a typeface of the 30s, very deco style and geometric. And I love a lot the idea of matching these beautiful colors and just moving the composition, the setting of the type very apart. And so it seems that you need to wear 3D glasses, John, you know that, to read properly. But I like this idea, it's very brilliant.
There is a question, what is the name of that Italian script?
The name of the Italian script, so probably I will write it here, Fluidum. There you are, you got it in the chat, because it's a Latin word that means fluid. Okay,
Thank you so much.
It's the ink of the pen that is writing on the paper. This is a designer, typographer designer. He's a very talented man, very experienced, and he chose to have a very contemporary design. And the big letters, and the question is, how do you see yourself in 25 years? This is the question that he's asking to Tipoteca. And to be honest, I I'm not able to answer. I hope to be that Tipoteca. I'm sure that Tipoteca will be still around, and this is lovely. And this is another. This is a proposal of friends from Milan, Cabaret.
Wow.
I went to unmute me and I muted you, Sandro. That was my fault.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
So,
Someone wanted to know who the designer of the last poster was.
the designer of the previous poster was Paolo Palma. I can try to type it for you. Paolo Palma, Metodo Studio, and he works and lives here in Treviso. Paolo studied in Urbino. In Urbino, there's a very important school of design. It is called ISIA, and it's still one of the top schools still
Who
today.
did this poster?
This poster was done by Cabaret Typography. The poster is a 3-color print, and the elements are laser cut MDF wood. So this is what the result of it. So these posters are lovely to see and very lovely to print as well. And I must say thank you to Daniele that loves precision, trying to match in exactly the colors. This is another poster. I mentioned to Paul Shaw about a letterpress studio in Modena, Officina Typo. Officina Typo is run by 3 lovely persons, Gina Paolini, Silvano Babini, and Ebe Babini. So a couple on life and their daughter. And they used the set 25 elements, and of course with the number and this yellow square in the middle. So as you see, what I like about this project and this proposal of designing a poster, we allowed the maximum freedom to people. So everyone was quite free to design according to his own view of Tipoteca, or something that was considered a good way to celebrate Tipoteca. And this, of course, I think you shouldn't need explanations, but it's definitely a Hamilton style with lovely numbers, with this beautiful red exclamation mark that is wonderful. And this is the design and print of Jim Moran of Hamilton Woodtype Museum. And I would love to say that we are, between Tipoteca and Hamilton, there's a kind of, we are twin sisters museums, and we like to keep on saying this, and it's exactly what the spirit that connects us. Well, here is another poster that needs no presentation. The style is definitely the signature of who printed this, and this is Hatch Show print. So for us in Italy, it's quite unusual to have a rodeo horse and a cowboy cheering us, but it's the spirit of this wonderful letterpress community around the world. And at the same time, I must recognize that Celine Aubry, that did the design and print, had to face even a very hard time to get inside the Nashville, because it was right in the middle of the pandemic. So what we appreciated of all the friends that participate, they wanted to say, yes, I'm with you, although we have to face this very sad time. And that was, for us, a very powerful and amazing contribution to our celebration. This was this is a poster designed with elements of typeface that is called Meccano. Meccano. That was it was a kind of border typeface released by Nebbiolo in the 30s. So the actual typeface is this one. I show you, I'm pointing it out with the figure. And these elements are a revival of the same typeface made from some wood type manufacturer. So it was inspired by the same. And the poster was designed by Paolo Celotto, that is a printer who lives in Treviso. Here we jump back over the ocean. This is Frank Baseman from Base Press in Philadelphia. And Frank loved to play with some visual elements, with some cups. And so he made up this nice name of Tipoteca, where we see a teacup. This is a tea. And he played with some elements. Here again is fluidum. So this is the fluidum typeface. And no need to explain why green and red, I believe, because it's the colors of our flag.
This is a good time to ask. Somebody asked me if Tipoteca translates to English to anything. Can you?
No. Well, no, it's like, okay, in Italian, teca is a display where you keep and you put inside things to show. So where in Italian, library is biblioteca. So our library is biblioteca, the house of books. And where we go to drink wine with friends is enoteca. Of course, you know that the Italian language derives from Latin and from Greek. And Tipoteca, it's a name that we made up because it's the house of typefaces. Tipo in Italian are the equivalent of typefaces or characters. Here, because I see Richard among the people following us, this is the proposal of Richard and Graham from London, actually the New North Press. And again, this is a lovely composition with the colors of the Italian flag. And I think that feeling this community of friends around us in a moment that was, in one hand, very happy because it's a birthday, it's always a very lovely point. And on the same time, not having them here to print, it was a very wonderful mix and encouraging.
Ooh, that's nice.
This is Daniele, sorry. Come here. I'm just showing you a friend here. He was trying to escape. This is Daniele. Ciao, Tracy.
Hey, Daniele, almost as long as yours.
So it was good to say hi to Daniele. This is a poster that I really love. It's made up with elements, with square elements, with geometrical elements, and Tipoteca. The designer and printer is a lovely young printer from Toscana, so in Tuscany, Martina Vincenti, that you can find her on Facebook and on Instagram as La Tipografa Toscana. And she is a very smart girl that is in love with wood type. And here we jump to, I tried to move it a little bit so you see what is the black ink on top of a black sheet. This is, so we know that letterpress is the black art. This is Thomas Gravemacher from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Thomas is a very good friend of ours. He's a lovely person. I invite every one of you to visit Thomas when you are in Amsterdam. He's the most amazing gentleman that we can wish to meet in our life. I'm showing you this other, I think I like the idea of this poster that is printed and set with rulers from Archivio Tipografico from Torino. Archivio Tipografico is another wonderful print shop and also group of people that are working with letterpress and designing with letterpress. And I must say that probably you can't see it from the screen, but there is a 1 point ruler here that is perfectly printed. And it's very quite invisible, I understand that, but there is 1 point and two pica. It's amazing work of how well printed it is. Then we have
get-
some friends from Rome, young people that are facing the world of letterpress. They are opening a place in Rome, and this is the first poster they ever did, and they did it in quite unique conditions. All these yellow stripes are supposed to be a way of representing our wood type archive, that we have all these drawers. So this is a very neat idea to explain and to show in a different way Tipoteca, and the idea behind Tipoteca. Here we have one of a very smart project and design of Lucio Passerini from Milan. Lucio is a very good friend of Tipoteca, and at the same time a very talented artist and printer. I like the idea of playing with letters, and the letters that are used for our name are missing in the alphabet. So this game is repeated twice, and it's a very smart, simple, and playful way of using letters. Well, the next poster, I believe, needs no presentation. You can tell who is the artwork here.
Some guy
Alan
from England.
Kitching is from England, and Alan Kitching was with us and Paul Shaw in the Legacy of Letters some years ago, doing a wonderful workshop here in Tipoteca. We have very fond memories of those experiences. And here is the design of a young designer, Damiano Fraccaro, from a design studio, and he wanted to be very giving. He was numbering all the T's, and here is the name of all the T's. I can tell you that discovering the names of typefaces in Italy, of wood type, is very, very a sad experience, because they just have these names of towns. So I can read Amalfi, Ancona, Genova, Bari. What does Malta mean in terms of? So it's not that the name tells you more about oh gosh, let me see. I'm missing one. There is. I know for sure that there are two posters missing, and I am very disappointed they are. Well, this is an extra poster that arrived from Berlin from Daniel Klotz. Daniel has the letter typing in Germany, in Berlin, and he works with. Oh, thank you, Stephanie, for spotlighting. And he works with a lot with Eric Spiekermann. And by the way, I ask. Forgive me, please forgive me, Eric. I don't have in this stack of paper your poster, but I invite you to go to our Instagram page or to go to our Tipoteca website, and you will see all the posters displayed. And this is a good story to tell, and this is what happens in a moment of our life that is not really the best to get moving, to move around, and also to send and deliver goods. Our friend Clint Harvey of the Bacon Factory from Brisbane designed and printed a poster for us, but it never arrived.
Ah.
It was paid, but the post office in Australia didn't. I believe they never left Australia, so we found out. I hope it will come one day. So
it's been quarantined.
Yes, it's still in quarantine. Yeah. Or a kangaroo started to eat it. I don't know what's happening. just wait a second. I'm very thirsty. I need a sip of wine. If anyone wants to do a question, I think you guys can make it right now. And so let's go back. We are facing a moment it's summer, and the big question will be what's going to happen with schools in this coming fall. I think that we are sharing the same question with our friends from Hamilton, and I'm not sure if we're going to have crowds of people or young people, school kids coming in. But I think it's a good chance to think of different ways of coming in Tipoteca. So what I'm happy to say that we are promoting some very short workshops that customize. People can come in and they can pick up their size. It could be S, M, L, XL, and depending according to the time, they can do this. Let me see if my Wi-Fi keeps working a little bit, and I try to move a little bit in the, as you see. Do you still see me?
We
Yeah.
do.
So. Oh,
Yep.
good. That's good. I was worried that I was missing. And now we are getting close to the, and so here is the room. And as you see down in the corner in front of me, those are the drawers with all the wood type. I know for sure that if I'm trying to go in that corner, I will miss the Wi-Fi connection. So it's something that I would like to avoid. But in this room, I have a chance to show you some typefaces. I hope you don't feel sick about. So here we have some drawers. Unfortunately, there are also the lights of the reflection. And what I can say is that Tipoteca has an incredible collection of metal and wood type. I think that is the reason why we came up with that name. Tipoteca is a private foundation, and who established and wanted Tipoteca are a family of printers, the Antigua brothers, that have a printing plant here in Cornuda. And what's amazing, I think, about Tipoteca is that all the machines, all the printing equipment was collected from all over Italy. So it's more, we can consider it a little bit a national museum of printing, because a lot of people, a lot of printers, old print shops gave us their material, their equipment. This is a wall here. I don't know, the link is sometimes disappearing. Let me just catch it over again. There you are. So this is the wall of fame of Tipoteca, where we have some lovely wood type faces. And I understand that it's better not moving around. So I think that I should stay stuck here in one place. And I changed the point of view, because I like the idea of having the fly of Bill Moran that is right behind us. And this is an ideally connection with Bill that he told me, and Stephanie told me in advance, wasn't able to join us for this evening. What else? Stephanie, you can start, you can lead now the discussion if there is.
Well, we do have a question, so that's good. And then we can open it up even more. Someone wants to know if you'll talk more about the designer of the exhibits there.
Of the designers of the exhibits?
I think the exhibits, like what you have on display, maybe who puts those together and why certain things get put on display. If not, they'll message me. Oh, she specifically wants to know about the building as well.
Of the building. Okay. The building of Tipoteca is, as I said before, a former hemp mill that was built in 1883. So we are inside. We have two buildings, actually. It was a little church, because in Italy in those days, you needed to go before to Mass and then after to work. And we have a main building that was the premises where the workers were like sleeping during the week. And Tipoteca is the result of, I would say, a lot of thinking of Silvio Antiga himself. So I wouldn't say he designed the furniture or the design of the environment of Tipoteca, but he had very clear in mind that he wanted to have the feeling of a working place, especially on the ground floor. So on the ground floor, we have tiles, great tiles on the floor. And if we go upstairs, we will have wood on our floors, just to give you a separation between these two environments. And normally we have, and I'm sorry that I can't go upstairs in our gallery, this is an extra room that was added in a second moment, and it's a place where we host some temporary exhibitions. By the way, don't forget that this year is the 100 years of Aldo Novarese's birthday. So Aldo Novarese is one of the most important Italian type designers. He designed, I would say, many fonts and many typefaces. Some of them are still popular. For sure, they are popular here in Italy. I invite you to look for Stop typeface. And it's this very fine, a very strange typeface with very few elements. It's only an uppercase, and it's not a text, but it's a display typeface that it's very popular.
Sandro, in the United States, we called Stop Instant Logo.
Instant logo, yes, that was because in those days they were designing metal fonts for using and to show logo types. So it is instant logo.
You can combine the letters.
Yes, and in fact, Stop is very popular between people that have car body shops, and sometimes even on the police station has the name written in Stop. But this, our friend James Claff from Milan could tell you more stories about this wonderful typeface, and even Paul Shaw knows many stories around it. So in the coming fall, we are planning to do only with things that we hold in our collection, an exhibition about Aldo Novarese. The only interesting point of our exhibition was trying to show Aldo Novarese as a graphic designer more than a type designer, because his work as type designer is known in all the world. But he was the main designer for Nebbiolo, also of the advertisement of the typefaces, and all for the advertising in the graphic design magazines of the time. And at the same time, he was a designer for other companies, other brands that weren't Nebbiolo type foundry. And so we want to show, we hold many of his work as a graphic designer. So we think it will be interesting to try to explore a little bit more deeply his view of the design, a little bit out of the specific type designer. So as a graphic designer rather than just a type designer. Of course, his work is strongly connected to his skills and his kind of idea of the use of his fonts in a way that was proposed to customers in those times. So if he's promoting one of his typefaces, he's thinking of way to display the typeface in a proper way to encourage some specific uses or some ideas of that typeface to specific uses as a font.
I am getting interesting questions, Sandro.
Oh man, I'm not sure I'm able to answer to all your questions.
No, I love it. People are asking me privately, so that way they can be under the radar. They want to know what composing sticks look like in Italy, the ones for lead type especially.
I just grab you one. That's the best way to show you.
Sounds good.
Nothing unusual.
So what is funny about composing sticks, and I always notice this difference, that in the US you have very large composing sticks, so you can set more lines together. But here in Italy, they're very common to be in aluminum, so very light, and not very tall. So maybe you just set a couple of lines. But composing sticks, of course, are as useful as everywhere else. I mean,
I had no idea. That was wonderful to see.
But I like that question, by the way.
It was really good. I think they also like your pronunciation of aluminum.
Okay, what is the right one?
No, there is no right one. It's the differences are the beauty. That's what's great.
Yeah, I must apologize because what is dramatic for us that we always have to speak in English. When we are in the US, we have to speak in English. We are in Italy, we have to speak in English. So it's not easy to think and show everything in English. So I apologize for that.
No apologies needed. I apologize. I didn't mean to
English
call
and
you
British
out.
English, Sandro.
Sorry?
There's American English and British English.
It's a mix.
And
I messed up.
aluminium is British.
Is it British? Okay.
It's
You know, UK is closer, but no.
Well, we appreciate it because I know we can share this a lot more with the people here in the States because you do it all in English. So we appreciate it.
No, but of course it will. I think otherwise nobody would be spending some time to sit here and listen to me.
Our British director is telling us you're correct.
My Italian is better.
Yes.
That's for sure. My Italian is better. I can prove you that. Well, okay, because we are sharing these common experiences. Please, how many times you heard people to not say bruschetta or bruschetta? That is not an Italian word. You have to put a K there, bruschetta. K.
Unless you're in Rome.
Unless you're in Rome. By the way, Mr. Paul Shaw, in the last newsletter that came in with your del mercoledì, there is a missing accent on the last I of mercoledì. That's Wednesday. So this is a proofreading that I am sharing with you.
We will try to fix it next time.
Yeah, please fix it. Okay, I have no clue of what the timing.
You're good. We've got about 15 more minutes.
Yeah, wasn't there a counter somewhere in the screen that shows how much time I'm chatting in the middle of nowhere? But okay.
We have 86 people, so you've gathered quite a crowd. One person did want to know, and you guys can also unmute and ask, that's no problem, but somebody wanted to know how many people do you have working there at Tipoteca?
Okay, we are at the moment, we have 3 people full-time, and we have 2 people that part-time are working. So I'll name all the people, the crew of Tipoteca. So it's myself, Sandro, and you just see Daniele passing with his long Gutenberg beer that we need to make some, a little bit of show about the fact of Gutenberg is still here, hiding somewhere. Now, Daniele is a very nice and patient man. He's lovely with kids, and he is a printer, he's a composer, he's a calligrapher, and he's also a hand binder. So he's very precious for us, and he is a very handy man, and this is what we love. And then I have, there is Leonardo. Leonardo is taking care of our library and our archive. But at the same time, Leonardo is very fond of music. So in Tipoteca, we have a very large collection of music scores of Italian music of the 20th century. This collection, this archive, was given us by a printing firm from Milan that was specialized in engraving music plates and printing music in those days. Of course, I think that you are aware that beside the classical performers that still have the music score in front of them, who plays music now sometimes comes up with an iPad, and he has the music and the pages of the music moving in front of the iPad. So it's changing even in the music world, in the way of performing. I had the chance to see one beautiful concert of cello from a great performer here in Venice, and Paul Shaw must bring his group at the Fondazione Cini allo Squero to see a concert that is one of the most amazing experiences that you can ever have in Venice. This is what I believe. And he was playing, reading the music on a giant iPad. So I think this is what's happening in our world, in our digital world. So Leonardo is fond and studied music, and he is taking care also of this large archive of music scores. And I have, of course, the founder of Tipoteca is Silvio Antiga, but he's taking care also of the company Grafica Antiga that is still in business, and it takes a lot of time and thinking about what's going on in the business and the printing world nowadays. And we have Michela Antiga, that is a connection between the main company and Tipoteca. So she's working half-time with us and half-time with the company, and she's taking care of the relations with friends and other people. And we have a printer that is Lucio. People that come here for workshops know him, and he is mainly a composer and a printer. And I have to announce that our very talented and skilled man that was Tiziano decided this summer to quit his restoration job of all the machines. He restored, I believe, something like almost 70, 80 machines, even more, I guess, almost. And so he decided that it was time for him to be more quiet and to retire. He visits us in the morning. He comes in, he shares some chats, but so this is part of our daily life.
Well, the items there look beautiful on display, so hard at work.
I know, but what is interesting that about the proof presses that we use every day, we have a Vandercook, so American. We have a British built on license of Vandercook. So basically we have two similar Vandercooks, and we have an FAG, I don't pronounce the three letters together, an FAG that is a Swiss proof press. And mainly in Europe, I think that the best proof presses are German and Swiss. And then we have the proof presses coming from over the United States. And I show you something that our friend Eric Spiekerman always admires, is these, how do you say, aluminum? I don't know. In Italian is aluminium. So these are very light and very easy and very handy. And this is so where we have all our furniture, and that we are, of course, these numbers that in Italy are meaning Cicero or Picus for you, is for the students coming in, because you have to explain them all the rules of the letterpress world made of points, Didot points and Ciceros. And so it's a new world, a new way of measuring the world in this funny. I have a question for all of you out there. Is it easy to find the type rulers still working? I mean, I'll show you. I'm afraid the measures will be a little bit different, because you guys have Picus that I believe they are slightly different from the Cicero that we have. We have to be precise. But for us, it's quite hard to find good rulers like this. So this is an SOS that I'm throwing in the middle of the ocean. If you have any insight for us, get Peter to make you some. Okay. I don't want to start reading the messages on the chats, because they could be very, distracting. I don't want to be.
No, you're good. This one, yeah, we've got some from P22.
Ah, there you are.
So we've got this
and
one.
I have, the good news for us is that starting from this week, we had a young designer coming in that is spending like an internship, because she wanted to learn letterpress, and she's starting to practice with these tools, these everyday tools.
It's good. I keep it in my pocket.
Okay.
A lot of people want to know how you got started in this. How did you get started in printing and involved at Tipoteca?
That's a damn question. Now, I studied what you say in English now, in American, whatever is it. I studied classic Greek and classic humanities.
Mhm.
So I almost graduated. I'm missing 2 exams. I did all my tests and exams of Greek, Latin. I'm missing the 2 Italian literature exams that were a very big story there. And during my university, I started to work for a very small publishing house, working on, they were making a very intellectual magazine about arts, literature, and architecture. And I was asked to start using a Mac to do the layout of this magazine. It was, I remember, a Macintosh SE, the one with a little square screen, with the system where floppy disk that you have to charge like 14 floppy disks when you needed to rebuild to change the system. It was an amazing experience. But I started with my Mac. I'm still with my Mac, and I'm happy to use it. And I started to get very involved with typography because I am always been passionate about lettering and handwriting and things like that. So I'm self-taught typographer. And of course, because I love books, you need to love also typefaces. So that's quite easy to drop in the 2 faces of the same object. I would say that when you like nice books, well designed, you get attracted by what's behind the making of that book and that design. So that's why I started to be really interested in typography. And working for this publishing house and made a connection with Graphic Antigua. I started to work with Graphic Antigua, designing some books for them at the beginning. We're talking of in year 92, 93, that in Italy, we're still early digital era, because in those days, I remember there was still linotype working around. So it was quite amazing. And of course, the digital changed quickly all the scenario. And so I started to use my first, it was Adobe PageMaker. I remember version 1.0, so it's quite old. And then I started to use other software and design software. And now as I think all of the community using things that you know everywhere in the world. So. And this is, I'm glad you made me this question. I think what is interesting about letterpress, that it still keeps alive a kind of local, I would say national, and so Italy, France, Germany, link to your design roots of the type foundries. Because not all this design, all the past design of metal fonts or wood type are now available as digital fonts. And so it's for Italian people, Italian designers that come inside Tipoteca, there is really a change of language, because all the fonts they use on their computer are names that are familiar to everybody nowadays. So I just mentioned Helvetica, everybody knows what we are saying. But when the design students come inside Tipoteca and they browse the cabinets, the type cabinets, they don't see Helvetica on it, but they find all these strange, I must say, strange Italian names. So this is what is quite a paradox of the letterpress and the analog typography compared to the digital. The digital is a common language. Everybody knows and it speaks with the same fonts. And when you go and get in touch with the letterpress world of Italy, they start to get used a little bit slightly familiar to totally different names like Eurostile, Semplicità, Fluidum that I showed you before, Etna. So it's a totally different language in terms of names that's describing the origin of typefaces.
That was a beautiful way to wrap it all up. I think that was gorgeous. Well, it does actually, it connects to one last question that somebody had that I thought was great. They said, how much do maybe contemporary Italian graphic designers think about Latin in today's world?
Sorry, how much? Repeat the question, please.
Of course. How much do contemporary Italian graphic designers think about
Mhm.
Latin in today's world?
Latin as a spoken Latin? It's a dead language, so it's only written, and
Yeah.
so it. But mm, a lot of words of Italian are the Latin evolution, the evolution of a Latin word. But what is even more interesting, and you must be aware of this, if you come in our village, that is Cornuda, you can take even 100 classes of Italian, but people won't speak you in Italian. They will speak you in a dialect, so it's a different language. And what is amazing that this is my part of my background of classic humanities studies. The dialects are directly connected to the spoken Latin, because what we study at school is the literature, the golden Latin, so the Cicero, Caesar, so who left us written literature. But in the market at Rome, in the 1st century before Christ, we don't know what they were yelling each other. But we are guessing it through only the comedies of Plato. So that's the way to understand few words and the pronunciation of words as well. So that is something very interesting.
Well, I think that was delightful. Thank you so much, Sandro. We appreciate you showing us around today. Thank you
Thanks
very,
to
very
you.
much.
Thanks to you.
Yes.
It was very kind of you to stick around.